hates you. Hey, welcome. I'm Simply Haley here. Welcome back with another car chat video. So yeah, she hates you. And the reason I started out like that, started out strong, honey, is because that is what came to my mind today. I was kind of working, not necessarily working. She and I don't really interact much since I'm in a different department and whatnot, but this is somebody who years ago, and a few short years ago at that, I considered a friend, and we were all friends, part of that friend group that I kind of briefly touched on in my first ever car chat video, first ever video I uploaded here, and I think it was car chat number 1, they are not your friends, co-workers are not your friends. She wasn't too much a part of that story, that was more of the core group, but she came to the company a little later and became part of that core group. And she and I just drifted apart. And to be honest with you, I don't ever think we were together. But the reason I started out, because that with she hates you, is because that is what came to mind. She and I were working together, or really just occupying the same space. And the space that we were in is a certain clean room type sterile space, so we do have to have on masks and stuff over, like the head caps and whatnot. And so the only thing I could see was her eyes. But today especially, because we also had to kind of interact a little bit yesterday, but today especially, I could tell. I really picked up on the energy is off. Because, people who don't like you or don't care for you can only fake it so long. And some people are better at faking it, and they can hold it in longer than others. But this young woman, middle-aged woman, cannot. And she was talking, and I'm kind of talking, trying to interact with some of the other people in the room. And I keep looking over there at her. And the way she's staring at me, I could just tell in her eyes. And it came into my mind, she hates you. She really hates you. And I was like, whoa. Now in the headspace I'm in, I find it comical. But just because I find it comical does not mean I'm not taking notes. Because even the day before, when she and I was in the same space and interacting, she, asked, what does Haley do when Haley off? Or what does Haley get up to when Haley at home? I said, Haley things. And I laughed and changed the subject, because I'm in that space now where you don't get to know intimate details of my life after you have shown me that you dislike me, you hate me. I had it really solidified today. You hate me. You don't get to ask those questions. And now I can't stop her from asking the question. Of course, she's a grown woman. You can ask what you like. I always preface it when even my brother asks questions, asks me things about personal things. I say, you can ask. That doesn't mean you're going to get an answer, but sure. You can do whatever you like. I just don't have to respond, right? And so, that's how I responded and changed the subject, because we're not going to go down this road when I know you mean me no good. You dislike me, as well as another person who I interacted with briefly on yesterday. And I don't know if it's because, your girl done moved on and done leveled up, or because I've expanded my knowledge base. And I think it's all of the above, because these two people are still stagnant. You're still frozen. You haven't grown any. You're still in the same position that you were in when you got here. Your knowledge base is still the same as if you just started 2 months ago. I be damned. Lord forgive me, me and cursing, we tussling. Because sometimes I feel like a cuss word just kind of just puts the cherry on top. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get off track. But, you know, I'm like, I find all this comical that y'all are salty with the person who decided they wanted better for themselves and moved on. You know, when people move on, and what encouraged me to move on is because one of my coworkers who had issues at the job where she wasn't being treated the fairest, or being treated right, she leveled up, she got her master's, and she moved on. And they was the same person was that I said that that it was even more. And I thank you, Holy Spirit. I thank you for bringing that to me and letting me catch and watch that. And hold on, but I'm sorry, I'm going off script. I don't have a script. I'm in my car, as you can see, and it just says it bubbles up. I'm letting it out. And they were salty with that same person was salty with her. They had a falling out. And I get into that in another video, because it kind of made me kind of side eye a little bit one of my friends, but we'll get into it probably in another video, right? But I just thought that was so interesting, and I was just and I said, thank God, because now in this new headspace, in this new awareness, I don't let things like that go anymore. And what I mean, like, I'm not going to call you out and confront you. I know where to place you now. I know how to further push you out of my sphere, even though we occupy maybe the same building and sometimes may even have to occupy the same space. I even know more how to handle you. And that means I watch you even more. But that's what I wanted to get on here and jump. Pay attention to how people act around you. I know it's tons of videos on not only YouTube but TikTok, that's very short to kind of get to the point. Watch them. Watch how they act with you. And I'd like to use this phrase: watch how people handle you. Look up in their eyes, because people can be smiling, baby, showing all them teeth, but their eyes. Ooh, it was just the eyes for me today. It really was. But I said, you know what? That's okay. I said I had my suspicions about you. Any doubt, I'm not even going to say suspicions, because I feel like I knew, but any little doubt that has not been, any little seed of doubt, it's fully been rooted up and tossed away. I know now. I know now. And I was going to get into, don't let everybody have access to you. And I think with women, especially black women in the corporate, you want to appear friendly and non, what's it called? And you want to be the antithesis to the non-angry, to the angry black woman, or the standoffish or attitude. I say to a point, you have to not care about that. And the people I'm talking about are other black people, of other black women. And I've learned, and I learned this early on, that really, and it really hurt me to my core, and I will get into this in another video. The hurt that I got, a first experience in corporate, was with black women. Yeah, black women did this. And I give them grace, because I understand. But I can give you grace at the same time. I don't have to deal with you. You don't have to be in my sphere. But I just want to say, watch them. Watch their eyes. Because people cannot pretend. They can only pretend so long in our human nature, because pretending is lying. pretending is lying. And she was pretending. Now, yesterday I couldn't pick up on it that well because we weren't together that much. We might have been together for a total of maybe 30 minutes. But today we were together for about maybe almost an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. And it was in that time the eyes told everything I needed to know. But that's it. I wanted to keep it short with y'all today. So thank you so much. And if like, comment, subscribe.